Well, good morning, happy Wednesday, but most importantly of all, a very Merry Christmas Eve to all of you. I have got my cup of coffee. Yes, how's that? For a cup, down to just 1 cup a day, it says. This little Christmas gift from a very busy Christmas elf this time of year. Love it. I think it would be a little dangerous to fill it up because, I don't even know. I wonder I have to look at the capacity on that there. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to fill that one all the way up. At least not all at once. Maybe over the course of a day I will get up to that. But nonetheless, I've got my cup of coffee. You might have your cup of coffee on this Christmas Eve, this very exciting day, very busy day, very festive day of the year. We're getting ready here, as you can kind of see from some of the setup you're seeing here, for our Christmas Eve service tonight at 6 o'clock. We're going to gather together for our Christmas Eve candlelight service. As I've mentioned for the last several weeks, would absolutely love to have you join us here as we celebrate the birth of Christ, the coming of Christ. We'll sing those kind of familiar Christmas carols, several of those, and we'll look at some of the story of the birth of Jesus. And really, that's all I wanted to do today. I know Christmas Eve is an incredibly busy time of year for you and for me and for lots of folks. And so I appreciate just a few minutes of your time this day, and I thought the best way I could think to tell that story, to use that time, is to read probably the most well-known, obviously right out of the Bible in general is well-known, but when we think about Christmas, when I think about the Christmas story, I usually think of the words that Luke recorded in Luke chapter 2. As I read it in just a few minutes, you'll be very familiar with it. I'm just going to read the first 7 verses together. It's the actual account of the birth of Jesus. Interesting thing, you may have heard this, depending on your background. It may have been part of what you were taught all along. But one of the unique things about Luke's account of the life of Jesus is he was not a disciple. He was not one that followed Jesus around like Matthew or John were disciples of Jesus. They were with him as he ministered. They had firsthand accounts. Luke tells us from the very beginning that he set out to make an orderly account. Luke was a researcher. He went out and he wanted to talk to people. He wanted to find out the things that happened around the life and ministry of Jesus. And many believe that one of Luke's chief sources was Jesus' mother, Mary herself, probably because of an account like this and some other clues that are scattered throughout his gospel, his record of the life of Jesus. Many believe Luke relied on Mary, especially for these kind of infancy narratives and Jesus at the temple, which comes a little bit later in Luke chapter 2, her being kind of that first-hand account, because we don't have much about his childhood other than the few places we have a little bit about his birth. And as I said, Luke chapter 2, the best known, and maybe because it comes right from his mother's account that Luke records this. See if these words don't sound awfully familiar to you. Luke chapter 2, verse 1. In those days, Caesar Augustus issued a decree that a census should be taken of the entire Roman world. This was the first census that took place while Quirinius was governor of Syria, and everyone went to his own town to register. So Joseph also went up from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to Bethlehem, the town of David, because he was of the house and of the lineage of David. He went there to register with Mary, who he was pledged to be married to and was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for the baby to be born. I'm sorry, I still got the old King James. The days were accomplished that she might be delivered. The time came for the baby to be born, and she gave birth to her firstborn, a son. She wrapped him in cloths, or wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and lay him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn. It's a simple, direct story that is what we're going to talk about tonight. It's why we celebrate Christmas. Certainly there's a lot of other stuff attached to this Christmas holiday. A lot of things this time of year, this holiday season that starts maybe a little bit before Thanksgiving and stretches on into the new year. But this is really the centerpiece of my personal celebration, and our celebration as a church is the gift of God when he sent his one and only son, Jesus, to be born about 2,000 years ago in a little town called Bethlehem, that place that squarely placed him in the line of the great King David, from whom the Messiah was prophesied to be. And so Jesus is that promised Messiah of God. As the angel, I believe, told Joseph, you will call his name Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins. Jesus comes, we celebrate his birth. We invite you to celebrate with us, and we invite you, however you celebrate this Christmas season, whether it's with us in church or even in your home, to not neglect this very simple story of the birth of Jesus. When the supernatural entered into history, when God became flesh, that's what we talked about a week or two ago. The fact that Christmas starts long before Bethlehem in the eternal mind and heart of God, as he desires to save us, and he sends Jesus to save us. So let me wish you the merriest of Christmases as we celebrate. Again, love to have you join us as you celebrate. I hope it's a happy one. I hope it's a healthy one. I hope it's a safe one. I hope it's spent with you spending time with the people that you love most. And especially, I hope you get exactly what you were wishing for on this Christmas day. Thanks for these few minutes of joining me. Thanks for this reminder that I've shared with you of the real reason that we celebrate. That's the gift of God through Jesus Christ. And so, hey, I'm going to go finish my coffee. Well, not in that cup, but in the one that's on my desk. I just thought you'd want to see kind of that cool little gift there. And I'm going to let you get back to your day. I'm sure you have lots to do as we get ready to celebrate Christmas tomorrow. So thanks, God bless you, and very Merry Christmas.